Get ready for LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy with the complete rundown of every LEGO Star Wars movie, show, and special in timeline order. Here we go! A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Master Yoda is taking a group of Jedi younglings on a field trip to the Senate, which they're way too excited about. Meanwhile, Palpatine and Asajj Ventress are laughing about stealing secret battle plans. Darth Vader wants to be on the joke too, but George Lucas breaks the fourth wall to remove him from the scene. As the younglings continue their tour, guided by C-3PO and R2-D2, another young child, named Ian, who doesn't have any people and travels solo, blends in with the group to avoid being taken back to an orphanage. Suddenly, Yoda senses Ventress, so the two have a lightsaber battle, while a battle droid runs off with the battle plans. Yoda pursues, where Ian stows away on the ship. They land poorly on Hoth before battling Darth Vader. Oh no, he's still not wanted for this movie. Yoda and Ian find the battle droid with the battle plans and battle the being with one swoop of a lightsaber. Unfortunately, they're ambushed by droidicas and have to use more than one swoop of a lightsaber to take them all out. They escape the planet, but now have to save 3PO, R2 and the other younglings, whose tour went universe-wide and are now on Tatooine being held prisoner by Jabba the Hutt. The pair save the others before learning that Ian had the I in his name badge turned the wrong way. It was supposed to be a H for Han Solo. As the Clone Wars rages on, Yoda teaches younglings about the perils and villains of the galaxy. One of those threats is Count Dooku, and another is General Grievous, and another is Darth Maul, and another is Darth Sidious, and another is Watto, but this story just focuses on the first two. The pair have gone to Kamino to experiment with a clone army. Meanwhile, Yoda is tricked into saving Obi-Wan Kenobi, so leaves the younglings to rescue him, only to find it was just a trap to allow General Grievous to be Grievous so he can steal from the Holocron Vault at the Jedi Temple. Grievous gets away, so the younglings go after. Meanwhile, Yoda is rescued from a trap by Lindo Calrissian, the father of Lando, who takes them to Kamino to stop Dooku, they must. Grievous shall not pass, but the stolen Kyber crystal creates a powerful and evil Force-sensitive clone. Luckily, Yoda is saved again, this time by the younglings. Later, Yoda and Obi-Wan go undercover at the presentation of the new Sith clone to all the other evil in the galaxy, and at the opportune moment, attack. Unfortunately, they're no match for the clone, but when ordered to finish off the Jedi, this clone learns that he can choose the light side or the dark side of the Force. However, the clone wants neither, choosing the lark side and leaving. But this freedom is short-lived, as he's once again captured by the Sith, who clone the clone. The army attacks the Jedi and younglings, however, Original Recipe uses the lark side of the Force to save them. So cloning 2.0 begins. This time, cloning is not actually involved. The new plan is to create more Sith apprentices. The Jedi set out to stop them, but they're gonna need more help. That's where Force Clone Guy comes in, switching from the dark side to the lark side, now to the light side of the Force. Obi-Wan has been captured and taken to Darth Maul, where Kenobi makes fun of the time he cut him in half. So Maul threatens to cut Obi-Wan in half with a single-bladed dark saber, but is rescued just in time by Anakin and Padme. There's a very important secret hidden inside R2-D2, so Anakin can't afford to lose the droid. Oh, he lost R2. Now, half the galaxy is after the droid. Well, not half the galaxy, two people from each side of the Force. But maybe R2 doesn't want to be rescued, because the droid is having a lovely time chilling out at an oasis in the desert. Wait, maybe R2 does want to be rescued, because the Jawas have captured the droid and forced it to do their cleaning. That is until General Grievous purchases the astromech droid. Fortunately, R2 sends out a help signal which is picked up by Anakin and Ahsoka, who arrive just in time to save the day. And the secret hidden inside the unit is VIP tickets to Skywalker World. Well worth the rescue. During the battle on Kashyyyk, a clone trooper tries to take down a spider droid by flipping it on its legs. He tries the Ewok approach, seesaw method, and pure strength, but Yoda proves why he's the best Jedi in the galaxy. Anakin and Obi-Wan are stopping the droid forces of the evil separatists from above, while Chewbacca, Yoda, and Mace Windu take care of the situation below on Kashyyyk. Then they all celebrate at the cantina with a glass of blue milk, where Chewie learns a spoiler about Anakin before Darth Vader conducts an orchestra of stormtroopers. Before Han shot Greedo, either first, second, or ninth, he teamed up with a mechanic named Pace to outpace the Empire to escape off Corellia. Unfortunately, they're unable to outpace the Empire to escape off Corellia. Well, at least Han isn't. Pace manages to sneak inside a crate heading off planet. just not to the destination he wants to go. Meanwhile, before Chewie became Barker to team up with Han Solo, he teamed up with a street swindler named Lena to help her escape off a planet of her own. Unfortunately, they're unable to escape off the planet. Well, at least Chewie isn't. Lena manages to run into Pace, speed away from stormtroopers before hiding in another crate and heading off planet, just not to the destination they want to go. With various people after both Lena and Pace, they team up to try and get to their mutual destination of Canto Bight. In order to pay for this one-way ticket, they take a job with Lando Calrissian, but they fail. So Lando instead takes them to a different safe space, which they use to make spaceships and babies. Someone who isn't in a safe space are Han and Chewie, who are being hunted by bounty hunters, so they make a deal with them to get parts to settle the debt. Unfortunately, Han has no idea where to find those parts, but he knows someone who does. So the pair fly off to reunite with Lena and Pace Freemaker, where they lead them to the needed parts, plus a reformed battle droid. After being immediately taken out in the Battle of Naboo, rebuilt, then immediately taken out in the Clone Wars, rebuilt, then immediately taken out in about 5 other battles, Roger decides that being immediately taken out is not that fun, so takes the steps of becoming good, spending decades worth of fighting against forces the battle droid used to side with. Years later, the next generation of Freemakers are making a name for themselves in the Star Wars on the side of the Resistance with Roger, but the battle droid is captured by Grabala the Hutt and in need of rescuing, so that's exactly what Moxie Freemaker and Karpow do. Who is Han Solo's co-pilot gonna be? The Jawas? Too mischievous. Porgs? Too annoying. Corncob guy? Too fearful. R5? Too damaged. Greedo? Too deceptive. Hot dog guy? Too delicious. But a Wookiee named Chewbacca is just right. Kanan and the Wookiees steal Imperial weapons, so they try and steal them back, but Sabine Wren says, "Not today, Imperial scum." C-110P watches a movie which the droid stars in alongside Ezra about their escape from stormtroopers. Briefly. So it's up to the other rebels to save them, which they do. Not, because now they're all under attack, where Hera's spaceship is damaged, so she uses Imperial parts to put it back together. Meanwhile, Kanan is saving some other rebels. Both succeed in their mission because they're on the good team. Ezra steals a speeder and uses it to speed away speedily from Imperials. A TIE advanced prototype ship versus a Wookiee gunship, but the Wookiees obviously win because they're flying a fully tested ship. Jar Jar Binks cleans the rebel ship as stormtroopers infiltrate and attack. However, the Gungan didn't put up the wet floor sign in time, so Darth Vader slips and falls, getting a one-way ticket to hospital. While watching Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Brick, the Sith Lord recruits Boba Fett to hunt Jar Jar down. This leads Fett onto the Death Star, where Binks is once again cleaning there, because I guess he just hates dirty surfaces. But while caught up in the groove, he accidentally learns that there's an easier way to blow up the Death Star. Luckily for both Jar Jar and Boba, they survive. Unluckily, Fett is eaten by a Sarlacc. Luckily, the Sarlacc doesn't like the taste, so spits him out. Unluckily, this gets him a one-way ticket to hospital next to Darth. Meanwhile, Jar Jar uses all the bricks he cleaned up to put on a concert. Order 66 has been executed, but there's still more Jedi to be hunted down. The Death Star has been destroyed, but Ghost Obi-Wan wants to reminisce about the past where he recovered the holocrons out of the Jedi Temple soon after the birth of Luke and Leia. But it wasn't just Kenobi involved in the mission. It was Yoda, C-3PO, Force Clone Guy, and some surviving younglings who knew what to do when there were too many clones. Standing in their way is Darth Vader, Darth Sidious, and probably some other Darth beings. But they're able to escape with the glowy orbs where Obi-Wan buries them in the sand on Star Wars' favourite planet. Now Luke Skywalker is after those holocrons to complete his Jedi training, so Vader goes after Luke to stop him from getting the holocrons to complete his Jedi training. But the Jawas find them first. However, Vader takes the silver medal, and as we know, first the worst, second the best, so it's now he who has possession of the holocrons. The Jedi need a new hope in the form of Force Clone Guy. He teams up with Leia, Luke, Han, Chewie and the droids to recover what was stolen, by destroying them. But don't worry, it was on purpose. The Sith needed them more than the Jedi. But wait a minute, there's still one more holocron that's still out there, currently in the hands of Luke, hands which they stay in, even after a lightsaber battle against the person he doesn't realize is his dad. And with that, Force Clone Guy's duty is done, giving Yoda his Force powers to live in peace. The rebels have destroyed the Death Star, but there's no time to celebrate. Because Darth Vader, Darth Sidious, and Darth Maul with a sextuple-bladed lightsaber and new legs are searching for them. Leia, Luke, and Han head to Naboo to recruit Gungan warriors while the Sith build the Death Star sequel. Unfortunately for Luke, his recent heroics of blowing up the original Death Star has led to fans screaming and chasing after him, so he disguises himself as Darth Vader. He then uses this impersonation to trick the Imperials to destroy their own base. But at the worst possible timing, the real Sith Lord appears, leading to a lightsaber battle. Luke is on the back foot due to not having any Jedi training, so C-3PO steps in to save the day, showing those screaming fans a photo of Anakin Skywalker before he was barbecued, leading to them screaming and chasing after Vader. With Darth distracted, the rebels take out the Imperial base on Naboo with help from the Gungans. A stormtrooper tries to escape the Wampa's cave the same way as Luke Skywalker, but unfortunately for him, he doesn't have the Force on his side. The Freemakers kids are all grown up. Rowan, Cordy, Xander, and Roger, who's an honorary Freemaker. They're a group of scavengers who make their living by building and selling starships using debris from the Star Wars. The youngest sibling, Rowan, discovers that he's Force sensitive and becomes entangled in a quest to find the Kyber Saber, a powerful weapon sought by both the Empire and the Rebel Alliance. He's guided by Nari, who claims to be a Jedi but secretly works for the Empire, seeking to exploit Rowan's Force connection to reassemble the Kyber Saber for evil purposes. Rowan is determined to help find the Kyber crystals, so tricks Roger into taking a ship to an asteroid belt where they recover a crystal. The Freemakers are tricked into serving as pit crew for a pod race set up by Grabala the Hutt, leading to their escape on a stolen pod racer and a desert ordeal. They take refuge in a Jawa sandcrawler, where Nari rescues them, but Rowan discovers her red-bladed lightsaber and dark side connection. Rowan confronts her over being a Sith, leading the Freemakers to escape her pursuit. Nari, having almost claimed the last Kyber Saber crystal, turns against the Emperor to become Sith Emperor 2.0. Rowan ultimately uses his Force abilities to destroy the Kyber Saber, defeating Nari, and escapes with his family and Roger's head. The Freemakers then destroy the Kyber Saber and are invited to join the rebellion by Admiral Akbar. The Freemakers join the Rebel Alliance, continuing their fight against the Empire while also searching for the lost pieces of the powerful Arrowhead, a legendary ship capable of winning the Star Wars. Rowan's connection to the Force grows as he faces more dangerous challenges. This all culminates with an epic battle against the Empire. Meanwhile, Vader uses Kyber crystals to arm the Death Star sequel. Also, Grabala unsuccessfully pitches his resort idea to him. The Arrowhead's power helps turn the tide of the battle, allowing the Freemakers to aid the Rebel Alliance in securing a crucial victory. The Freemakers, narrowly escaping the Death Star sequel's explosion, join the Rebel victory celebrations, where Ron reveals his Force abilities to Luke Skywalker. The Rebels have destroyed the second Death Star, and peace has been restored to the galaxy. But Han, Luke, and Leia were only around for the original trilogy, and want to learn about the prequels. Luckily, C-3PO has been a part of all the Skywalker adventures, so tells them the story. While 3PO recounts the events of the Star Wars saga, a mysterious figure is being mysterious, so R2 follows them, only to be captured. As C-3PO goes to the white and blue droid's rescue, the gold droid continues the story to Admiral Akbar, then some passengers on board a transport ship before landing on Star Wars' favourite planet. We even learn why Chewie never got a medal. Some patrons lead 3PO in the direction of R2, where Chewie gives up his holiday leave to help. After explaining how the Empire struck back, they find R2, only for it to be revealed that Lando Calrissian is the mysterious thief, wanting to recycle old droids for extra dollary dues. But unbeknownst to Lando, it turns out the group wanting to recycle old droids are Imperials who plan on using the parts to
build a new army of battle droids and restore the Empire!
However, before the droids switch sides, 3PO buys them about 15 minutes explaining the return of the Jedi, which is just enough for R2 to sneak away and pilot the Millennium Falcon to save the others. For a bit, now they have to face a new threat, Mega Battle Droid. Luckily, Akbar shows up again to help defeat. And with that, a second celebration of fireworks in 2 days goes off on Endor. While the macro characters are off battling the macro threats, everyone else is having their own little micro battles in Microfighters. Darth even teaches a TIE fighter pilot how to fly one. Did you ever wonder what happened in the 3.5 minutes before we saw each character in Star Wars Episode VII? Well, it's a rescue, where Admiral Akbar is the one who needs saving. So Padawan goes to save C-3PO from an acid planet. Before 3PO guides Poe in the direction of Akbar, then BB-8 disguises their ship so they can board the First Order ship. They reenact Princess Leia's rescue from A New Hope, then escape, much to the chagrin of Kylo Ren. Meanwhile, Han and Chewie are in a sticky situation of their own, or should I say, squiddy situation. Speaking of Han, basically every bounty hunter in the galaxy is looking for the scoundrel without any people. Luckily for Solo, Lando leads them all in the wrong direction to Jakku. While Han might not be on the sandy planet, Rey is, who's currently getting ripped off for valuable space junk. And finally, switching scenery from hot to cold, FN2187 is starting to think that killing good people is actually bad. What if Star Wars movies were retold with Lego? Well then that would be these shorts. Yoda even shows younglings some highlights, plus some of the side missions that happened while the main missions were taking place. It's Life Day, where Rey is trying to teach Finn how to be a Jedi, but is struggling, so she takes a nap and wakes up with an epiphany. This revelation sees Rey visit an ancient temple to find answers. Those answers are found on the other side of a portal opened by the Star Wars equivalent of a slingy. The portal takes Rey to different moments of the Star Wars, where Jedi Masters are training apprentices. But one too many portals leads Darth Vader back to Rey's time and space. Meanwhile, on the Millennium Falcon, Poe, Finn, Rose, Chewbacca, and the various toy sales are preparing for the Life Day party. Back with Rey, who's now lightsaber dueling Vader through notable moments in the Star Wars timeline, and accidentally bring each of them as they teleport away, collecting more characters than anyone did during the 2016 Pokemon Go era. This misadventure leads to Darth ending up with the portal key and returning to his time and space before he and Palpatine use it to visit shirtless Ren with the plan of changing their destiny. Before the Sith can be evil, Rey learns that knowledge and training is only one part of being a Jedi. It's also about connection. So she uses that connection with one of the Luke Skywalkers she accidentally brought back with her to create a portal to stop Palpatine with a Life Day saber fight. A life saver fight. They fight, before Rey recovers the portal rock, puts everyone back to where they were, then returns to the Millennium Falcon for Life Day dinner. Poe and BB-8 crash land on Mufasa, nope, that's not right, Mustafar, where Darth Vader's castle has been converted to a luxury hotel and theme park. But Poe has no interest of riding a lava coaster, so recruits the help of someone named Dean to help fix his X-Wing. However, before they can leave, the park's caretaker, Vanny, wants to tell some spooky stories. The first of these stories is of how Ben Solo changed his name and sided the Force. Story 2 is how Darth Maul went from a double-bodied Sith, and General Grievous went from healthy lungs to both needing cybernetic additions. The pair used their upgrades to retrieve a lightsaber for Darth Sidious, but battle over who's going to give it to the Sith Lord. Maul wins, but the saber broke in the process, so Sidious gives him another great fall. The third and final terrifying tale sees Luke Skywalker wish upon a Wookiee paw. Unfortunately, his desires are granted by the Imperials, leading him to becoming a baddie. But hang on a minute, that's not what happened. Luke stayed on the brighter side of the Force. It turns out Vanny was just telling these stories so Dean would unknowingly use his unknown Force powers to find secret Sith relics within the castle that Vanny could use for evil. But good will always triumph because bad is dumb. It's a summer vacation. While Finn's friends go to have a good time, he listens to Obi-Wan's ghost tell a story about a holiday he once went on with Culvert Valeria that involved Obi-Wan karaoke. Plus Jedi stuff. Finn then heads to the beach to hear another vacation story from Anakin Scuba Walker. A tale that also involves singing, this time by Weird Vic Vankovich. There was also a beach competition which Vader and Sidious won. Then a third Force ghost appears to tell yet another vacation story, this one from the perspective of Leia. Her story involved the Solo's last trip together before Ben went off to almost become a Jedi. I imagine the reason he turned to the dark side was because this vacation didn't have any karaoke, but it did involve completing an asteroid field in 1 parsec. Celebrate the season with LEGO Star Wars. Yoda's young Jedi training was just to hang a wreath above the doors. Anakin's gifts to Obi-Wan are the worst by definition. It's Ahsoka versus Maul in a pumpkin carving competition. Obi-Wan and Vader have a heated battle on Tatooine. The Bad Batch deliver pumpkins to a village on Halloween. Cad Bane can't ruin the Bad Batch's vacation. Vader and a trooper level up for a Met confrontation. The Inquisitors end up with an EOP while trying to capture Kenobi. Land Speeder cruising with Luke, R2, and C3. Palpatine helps Vader relax while at a retreat. R2 scares the Sith while they try to trick or treat. Chewie misses his family, so friends make his day brighter. X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, then TIE Wing versus X-Fighter. Luke makes the battle on Hoth more festive, less fear. The Rebels defeat the Walkers just before the new year. 'Twas the night before Life Day, where Palpatine does gift-giving the White Bantha swap way. Luke thinks his father is the #1 dad. Christmas wrap on the Falcon makes it look real rad. C-3PO and R2 are late for dinner with the crew. Wicket wants to set off fireworks too. Grogu plays in the snow, showing off his tricks, then makes Din a gift from a bunch of loose bricks. Change of season to build sculptures in the sand. Mando looks for Grogu but gets distracted with candy demand. Gideon thinks Grogu is a ghost and goes ah. Mando and Grogu take on the role of Santa. Boba, Din and Finnick make Fett's spaceship spooky. While Fett is away, his crew decides to party. A hot day on Tatooine is saved by Boba Fett. Grogu scares Mando to make his pants wet. It's a Christmas off with the First Order versus Poe. Celebrate a New Hope released 45 years ago. Celebrating 25 years of Star Wars Lego. Luke and Jedi Vader help fix ships like a pro. And now you're all caught up and ready to see LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. You're welcome! Let me know in the comments what your favourite LEGO Star Wars movie, show or short is. And don't forget to absolutely obliterate that like, subscribe and share button. I'm just kidding. Only do it with enough force like Star Wars, that it registers. I don't want any of you breaking whatever device you're watching this on.